Greetings, my name is Richard O, and welcome to Your Town. Today, my guest is Chef Jacques Zagouri. Welcome, Chef.
Bonjour.
Bonjour,
Richard.
yeah.
Bonjour, bonjour.
Chef, we've known each other for 13 years now?
Yeah, 13, 14, something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I always say 10 years, but the 10 years is the longest 10 years of my life.
Oh, jeez.
14 years, yeah, 14. It's crazy. 14 years.
We first met at Andre's Bouchee in Carmel.
Yeah, that was
where Andre brought you in.
It is, yes, I did come. Andre hired me at the time. He needed a sous chef, and I needed a job. Just moved into Carmel, and Andre and I found ourselves kind of a perfect match. Andre was he was way older than he was older than I am, and he was kind of the masters and I learned from. So culinary speaking and life speaking, we kind of were speaking the same language. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Professionally, we speak the same language. So it was quite an adventure to work with him.
Well, let's take a step back. First, where are you from?
Oh, boy, I'm from many places. I'm the one of the kind. Well, I'm from France. I'm born and raised in France, in Normandy. But very, very early, we were 3 years old, I think I was, and we moved to Nice, south of France, which is nice. Normandy is nice, but Nice is nicer. So I went to school, graduate, and then make my first big move in my life, which was decided to move to Israel. I moved to Israel the first time to do a military service over there. And then after I came back to France a little bit, couple of years, and then I went to live over there for 15 years. Culinary speaking, it was kind of a boom for me because it's a new country, so new flavors, new products, new spices. And I could integrate that into my food. And then from there, I went to Spain. I went to Costa Brava. I worked over there in leather culture. I knew a little bit of the Spanish. I didn't speak a lot of it, but I did know it. Then I went back to Israel, and my children live over there, so I decided I'd go there. And then this guy contacts me from Las Vegas and wants to open a restaurant. The first French fine dining kosher restaurant in Las Vegas. This is what we opened. And I came. It wasn't an easy decision, but I came. And I stayed over there for 1 year. My life in Vegas was a little bit different than what I was expecting. So I decided then I will not stay in Las Vegas. I didn't like it. But my dear friend over there, didn't want me to leave, so then I could make a good career in America. And I went to my computer and applied for me. And applied for New York because we were in Manhattan on this time, I was. And I go to the interview and that lady, very nice lady, French too, telling me during the interview, speaking what I do, what I did, what I like to do and everything. But during the conversation, she's speaking with me about Lexington, Kentucky. And I gotta tell you a secret. I have no clue where it was. I didn't know. I was thinking it's next to New York, next to New Jersey, right? Obviously, Kentucky wasn't next to New York. But I had to say, Kentucky, it's a beautiful country.
It is.
It's a beautiful. And I was in Lexington, it's a fun town, and I stayed over there for a year. And then my boss pissed me off. And you know how I am.
Speaking of bosses.
He pissed me off, so we had an argument and decided to leave. And somehow I end up in California. I end up in Walnut Creek for a short time to help a friend of mine for an independent senior living. I end up to work for 8 months for old people, senior people. And it was a lesson of life. It was beautiful. Hard, but beautiful. Hard because you get connect with the people and then they leave. They leave us. But it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And then, bada boom, Carmel.
Carmel. Why did you want to become a chef?
Oh, that is a story, another story, right? I wasn't a school lover, and I wasn't very, I didn't like discipline and stuff like that, you know.
So you weren't a very good student.
No, I wasn't. I didn't like school. I didn't like school. So she's tired of me, she sent me to my father. My father had a clinic. So I go to the clinic of my father, and he's busy with his patients. So start to be bored again, right? So I start to do stupid things. He got tired of me again. Another one. I get used to. And he sent me to the neighbor. Neighbor was a restaurant. It was around 12, 1 o'clock. I always will remember. The guy was cooking and pan going and tack and food and flame and plate. And then he created some dishes. Oh my God, I loved it. And then a year passed, and as I said earlier, I wasn't very good at school. I didn't like it. So my father kind of, oh my God, what are we going to do with this one? And I told him, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to be a chef. That was the moment. He told me, okay. And I went to culinary high school for 2 years. And I got my diploma, top of the class. So it was pretty cool. I loved what I did. Also, he brought me to work on Star Michelin, and Moulin Mougin in Cannes, and then Roger Verger Moulin Mougin in Cannes, and then Maxima de Chantecler in Nice and Negresco. And that's all. From there, my career started to go all over, go back to Israel.
So your specialty is classic French.
So my specialty is classic French, but I develop different cuisines. So, you know, it's over 35 years, something 40 years that I'm cooking. And the interesting part is wherever you go, you learn, right? You always learn from someone. We all of us, never mind what and where, we always learn from someone. And in the kitchen is the same. You learn from people. So you go to work in a place and you learn. And you go to the other place and you learn from this guy. And then you learn from this guy. So when you move countries, it's the same. You go to this country and they do the same. You can make your food. Yes, you want the authentic, but you can add some stuff. So by going to Israel, I had more flavors, more color, more spices. Integrate it into the French, which allow me to create new dishes than the ones that you know, definitely.
Right. So who was your biggest influence? Because you've had many people.
My biggest influence was Maître Roger Verger. He was a French chef. He passed away, unfortunately, not long time ago, a couple of years. But he's one of the first chefs. Top chef. I mean, I'm thinking about the tops of the top, right? And Escoffier, all of this, right? He one of the first chefs we give a chance to the young. And I mean by that, and if you had an idea, on your free time, he will let you do it. And then he will bring you. You will do your dish, right? But you're young, you miss experience, right? You have an idea, you don't know how to get. He knows how to get, but he lets you do it. And after that, he directs you to the where you need to go. That was for me, wow, I admire this guy. He was something, a genius. So many young chefs moved for me and success because in the time it wasn't like that. In the time in the kitchen, the chef speak. The only thing that you allowed to say is, yes, chef, and that's all. So there was difference. It was something, yes.
So, Jacques, you've had some health issues.
Oh, yes. health issues. Yes, I
Had
did
heart
have
attack?
some, 12 of them.
12 of them.
12 official, let's say like that. A few of them at home like that. I not say to anybody because, you know, you don't want people to know. It's okay. Yeah, I had quite a crazy life, you know, as you can see, we could hear, and you particularly know, right? It's in France, Israel, Spain, Israel, Las Vegas, New York, Kentucky, Carmel, and a lot of food, a lot of cream, butter. You know, French people, we like butter. There is no better than butter, right? This is what we say.
Oh,
right?
I know. You
So
use a lot of
cream.
butter in your dishes.
Oh, yes, I do, and I keep doing it, my friend. And foie gras, and meat, and wine.
Wine.
Yeah, you should try the old wine. It's pretty good. The Pinot, the 07.
Oh, thank you.
I'm coming to pick up a case
Yes.
later. And yeah, so I got sick. My heart said no more. A first time in 2018. And he said another time no more in 2019, where it bring to us working together at the restaurants. It didn't work very well, obviously. I got sick again. I couldn't work in a restaurant anymore, unfortunately. And I love this restaurant. It's for me, this restaurant was...
This is your passion.
It is was my passion, my home. I did love this restaurant. A lot of happened over there. But couldn't do it until my surgeon told me, Jacques, you can't do a restaurant anymore, right?
So you took a little break?
I took a year break. I had to take a year break for a lot of time in the hospital and stuff like that. And then I had to decide what I'm going to do.
And then so you decided to
And I
transition
decided,
into...
and the things that I do the best, it's cooking
Cooking.
and people. I love people. So I decided then I'm going to keep cooking, but more less restaurants. I going to bring, instead, I say like that, my customer cannot come to me to the restaurants because I can't do a restaurant anymore. So instead of do that, I'm going to bring the restaurant to their house. And I'm doing private chefing and catering. Small event from just a pizza in the yard for a birthday party to a fine dining 6 course with some foie gras, caviar and lobster. The good thing. And the butter too. I'm coming to your house wherever you are, you know, from down South Cal to North Cal to wherever you want, you know. And it's been great. It's fun. I'm still in contact with my customers, still in contact with the people, which I like. I like the interaction. I think for me it's very important. And then I cook what I like to cook. So my customer trusting me, and it's a year now. It's almost it's a year, a little bit more than a year, and it's going great. I'm thankful, very thankful for the support of the community, because there is one thing that we didn't say: we're living in a place where the community is very supportive and very nice to each other, and I love it. I think Carmel is one of the best places to live in the world. Voila.
It is definitely beautiful.
It is.
So would you like to talk about a little bit more about your special dishes that you like to prepare?
So my special dishes is interesting because, as you know,
Yes.
and everybody know in Carmel, the foie gras guy eats me. So foie gras. It's interesting because when back in France or in the rest of the place in the world, and I was except America, I used to do the terrine. The terrine was a big seller of the people. European love this one. But in America, it's all the opposite. American people like the pan-seared foie gras. So I didn't did that much of it back in Europe, but I do it a lot here, and I work with it for so many, from appetizer to dessert. Remember, we did so many of these dinners, 6 and 7 course foie gras dinner. It was pretty fun. And that is one of the classics, you know, the filet, the truffle sauce, the foie gras, beautiful. But I also love the sea. I love the sea. And I love work with fish. And when I get this used halibut, you know, from Alaska, I don't think it was 45 pounds. Oh man, it was so hard to take it, to make a picture with this one.
Yes.
But to cut it, to fillet it, to clean it, to cook it, I loved it. And of course, I love to work with lobster. I like Spain. I love the paella. I love to do paella, torta, seafood. And one other thing that I do that is not very developed, but I love to do it, and I do it very well. I had a couple of is the North African food. North African food, it's a beautiful food. And I kind of grew up, my parents are French Algerian, so I kind of grew up with it. But when we speak about the shakshuka and the couscous or the merguez with the Moroccan sausage, all these flavors, and I would love to introduce more to my customers, because as soon as they try it, it's a boom. It's something very special. Voilà.
What about Branzino? You like?
I love the Branzino. Simple fish, le loup de mer. Simple fish, and fish with good. We just need to pencil, salt, pepper, to pencil a little bit on butter. Still,
Of course, the butter.
Still needs the butter, right? So, and a butter, a light sauce, or just a, cold sauce, tomato, little bit garlic, olive and basil on the top, or a saffron sauce too. And it's simple. It's a beautiful fish. It's just beautiful.
So, what is monkfish?
I don't really know why they're calling like that, because it doesn't look like a monk.
But it's not a pretty fish.
It's an ugly fish. it's an ugly fish. It's not that it's not pretty. It's an ugly
It is an ugly fish.
I gotta say, before my heart, I used to scuba diving. And I'm very happy that I never met a monkfish in front of me at 20 meters below the level of the water. And it's an interesting fish. I never got to get one whole. I always got the tail, because the tail is what you eat. But when you see the tail, you can define the size of the head. And the head is 3 times the size of the tail. So if you have a fish like that, so just on the tail, your fish is pretty much like that. So it's kind of a beautiful. You mostly buy the tail, they don't sell the head. The head going on the different industries. A lot of gelatin in it and stuff like that. It's calling the lobster of the poor people. He has the texture, he has the medallion, and you make it this one with saffron or with a lobster sauce or something. We just pencil with a fish sauce and a little bit chive on it, and oh boy.
Well, thank you. And thank
You're
you for
welcome.
joining us today.
My pleasure.
So
Merci
for your
beaucoup.
next private event, please call Chef Jacques Zagouri.
925-300-6528.
And your website?
Chef Jacques, CHEFJAC.com.
Thank you for joining us today. This is Your Town. Until next time, I'm Richard O.
And I'm Chef Jacques.
Cheers.
There we go.